Hey friends, time for a review of mixed numbers and improper fractions and a lesson on how to go from one to the other. All right, so our objectives, we want to be able to convert or change improper fractions to mixed numbers and mixed numbers to improper fractions. Some of the words you need to know: convert means to change from one form to another. A mixed number is a whole number and a fractional piece. And an improper fraction is a fraction that's larger than one whole, where the numerator is larger than the denominator. All right, so mixed numbers, remember, a mixed number has a part that is a whole and a part that is a fraction. So in this case, here's our whole, and here's our fraction, our part of a whole. What mixed number does this represent? 1 3/4. One whole, then we have 3 extra pieces, and the whole is split into 4 equal parts, 3/4. Let's practice identifying some of these, shall we? All right, so write the mixed number. How many wholes do you see? 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 wholes, and our extra fractional piece, we have 3 parts. And how many parts were there in the whole? 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be 3 3/4. What do we think? There we go, 3 3/4. Let's do another. What's the mixed number represented by this image? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wholes. And then for our fractional part, the denominator will be 2 because the whole is broken into 2 parts. And we have 1 piece shaded, so our numerator is 1, 5 1/2. Let's see. All right, 5 1/2. We'll skip our extra practice. This image is 2 2/3. And now let's talk about how we can get from a mixed number to an improper fraction using. All right, so in this case, let me get my pen back up. All right, so in this case, we have 2 1/2. 2 wholes and 1/2. To go from an improper from a mixed number to an improper fraction, get a different color. All right, there's 2 steps you need to take. That's really it. First, you are going to multiply your denominator times your whole number. All right, so in this case, 2 times 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. The reason you do that is because when you're finding your improper fraction, you first want to find out how many pieces you have, how many parts of the whole you have. If each whole has 2 parts and you have 2 wholes, 2 times 2 tells you that you have 4 parts. The next step is that you need to add your numerator, because your 4 parts come from the 2 wholes that you have, but you also have some extras. So 4 plus that 1 extra piece you have equals 5. This is your numerator. How many pieces you have total? You had 4 pieces of your whole from those 2 wholes, and then 1 extra means 5. Your denominator then stays the same. The number of parts in a whole isn't changing, even if you're converting from a mixed number to an improper fraction. So if the denominator was 2 in your mixed number, the denominator is 2 in your improper fraction. So denominator times the whole number, 2 times 2 is 4. Add your numerator, 4 plus 1 is 5. That's our new numerator. Our denominator stays the same. 2 1/2 equals 5 halves, or 5 seconds. Ignore that. All right, let's try it. So we have 4 1/2, and we want to turn this from an improper, or from a mixed number into an improper fraction. Okay, Step 1, denominator times the whole number. 2 times 4 equals 8. Plus that numerator, because that's your extra piece. 8 plus 1 equals 9. All right, so our new numerator is 9, and our denominator stays the same. It was 2 in our mixed number, so it's 2 in our improper fraction. 4 1/2 equals 9 halves, or 9 seconds. We were right. All right, next, 6 2/3. Let's see. Well, like we said before, 6 2/3. There are really only 2 steps. Multiply our denominator times our whole number. 3 times 6 equals, get out that multiplication chart if you need to, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Plus the 1 from our numerator, or plus the extras from our numerator, in this case 2. So plus 2 equals 20. And there's our new numerator. 6 2/3 equals 20. What's our denominator? Our denominator doesn't change. It was 3 before, so it's 3 now. 6 2/3 equals 20/3. Let's see. 20/3. All right, let's do one more. 3 2/5. We want to turn that into a mix or an improper fraction. Use this image to help you if you need to. We have 3 2/5. 3 wholes, 1, 2, 3, and then 2/5 extra, 2 out of 5 pieces. Ooh, that's a fun looking 5. And we want to turn this into an improper fraction. What are those 2 steps that you need to follow? Multiply, then add. 5 times 3. 5 times 3 equals 15. But don't forget to add your numerator, because those are your extra pieces. 15 plus 2 equals 17. There's how many pieces you have total. 17. But what's my denominator? It stays 5. 17/5. Let's see. If we looked at our image, I know I drew over it a little bit, but if we looked at our image, let's see if our denominator is right. Are there 5 parts in one whole? Well, here's one whole, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, our denominator's right. Now let's count our numerator pieces. How many parts do we have shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17/5 is the same as 3 2/5. All right, what about 4 3/4? Can you try it on your own? That should be 19/4, which would look something like this. What about 6 1/3? 6 wholes, 1/3 extra. That would be 19/3, which would look something like this. All right, last one for you to try, 8 3/5 would be 43/5, and it would look something like this. All right, now let's talk about improper fractions. We're going to go the other way. Remember that an improper fraction is a fraction in which the numerator is greater than the denominator. In this case, we have 2 wholes, so you could write that as 2, or you could say, well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces, and one whole is made up of how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4. 8/4. That's an improper fraction. So let's take a look here. What improper fraction is represented? Well, we know an improper fraction doesn't have a whole number part, just a fraction part. So how many pieces do we have? That'll be our numerator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's how many individual parts we have shaded in. And for our denominator, we have to ask ourselves, how many parts are in one whole? Well, if I look at just one whole, I see there are 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So this improper fraction is 19/4. There we go. What about this improper fraction? How could you represent this image? Well, each whole seems to be broken into 2 pieces. So there's our denominator. How many pieces do we have shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 seconds or 11 halves. Let's see. Nice job. Last one on your own. 9/3. All right, now to go from an improper fraction to a mixed number, you're going to be using some division. All right, so step 1, you need to divide the numerator by the denominator. In this case, down below, we have the improper fraction 5 seconds. Our denominator is 2 because each whole is broken into 2 parts. Our numerator is 5 because we have 5 parts shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you divide the numerator by the denominator, you might have some extras. That's where your fractional part of your mixed number will come in. So the answer to your division problem will be your whole number part, and your extras, or the remainder of your divisional problem, will be the numerator of your fractional part. Let's see how that will look. All right, so we have 5 seconds. We want to turn that in from an improper fraction to a mixed number. Well, step 1, divide the numerator by the denominator. So you're going to ask yourself 5 divided by 2. All right, well, what that means is how many groups of 2 can I make with 5? Okay, so we have 2, 4, 6. Oh, that's too many. Looks like I can make 2 groups of 2 with 5. But when I do that, I only get to 4. What's my leftover for getting to 5? Well, 4, 5. I would need 1 more. That's my little extra piece, my numerator. My denominator stays the same. It's going to be 2. So 5 seconds is the same as 2 and 1/2. Once again, how did we do that? Well, we know that 5 divided by 2. How many groups of 2 could we make with 5? 2, 4, 6. Oh, that's too many. We can make 2 equal groups, but that'll only get us to 4. So we'd need 1 more to get us to 5. There's our numerator, and our denominator stays the same. 5 seconds is the same as 2 and 1/2. Let's do it again. Here we have 7/3. We want to turn that into a mixed number. Now you might be able to look here and see, okay, here's 1 whole, here's another whole, and here we have the fractional part 1/3. So this image or model represents 2 and 1/3. Let's see if our strategy using 7/3 can get us there. All right, so we have 7/3. Step 1, you have to divide the numerator by the denominator. So you're going to do 7 divided by 3. 7 divided by 3. All right, so how many groups of 3 can you make with 7? Well, 3, 6, 9. Oh, that's too many. So it looks like I can only make 2 groups. 3, 6. I can make 2 groups of 3 with 7. But my numerator is 7, and that only got me to 6. So what's my leftover to get from 6 to 7? I have 1 left over. There's my numerator, and my denominator stays the same. 7/3 equals 2 1/3. 2 1/3. All right, let's do another. 8/3. Try it with the model first. What mixed number is represented here? 1, 2 wholes, and 2/3. So the answer we should get should be 2 2/3. Let's see if that works. All right, 8/3. That means we have to do 8 divided by 3. That's what we're going to try to solve. Divide the numerator by the denominator. 8 divided by 3. How many groups of 3 can I make with 8? 3, 6, 9. Oh, that's too many. I don't have 9 to divide. I only have 8. So I was able to make 2 groups of 3. That's my whole number. But that only got me to 6. How much more did I need to get to 8? 6, 7, 8. There's my numerator, those 2 extra pieces I needed, and my denominator stays the same. 2 2/3. Were we right? 2 2/3. All right, 9/2. Try this one on your own. Numerator divided by the denominator. Your remainder is your numerator. All right, so 9 divided by 2 is what you're trying to solve. How many groups of 2 can you make with 9? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, I don't have 10. I just have to stop. I was able to make 1, 2, 3, 4 whole groups of 2, but I stopped at 8. How many left over to get to 9? 8, 9. My numerator, denominator stays the same, 4 1/2. 9 seconds is the same as 4 1/2. Let's see. Hey, at least one more here, okay? All right, so we have 11/5. We want to try to get from 11/5 an improper fraction to a mixed number. Step 1. Divide. Divide the numerator by the denominator. So you're doing 11 divided by 5, or how many groups of 5 can I make with 11? Well, 5, 10, 15. Oh, that's too many. I don't have 15. I only have 11. I could make 2 whole groups of 5, but that only got me to 10. How many extras would I need to get to 11, the numerator I started with? 10, 11, one more. And my denominator changes or stays the same? Stays the same. The number of parts in my whole isn't changing just because I'm changing the way my number looks. So we have 2 1/5. 11/5 is the same as 2 wholes and 1/5 extra. There we go, 2 1/5. And there's the image to match. All right, 10/5. Step 1, divide. 10 divided by 5. All right, 10 divided by 5. How many groups of 5 can I make with 10? 5, 10. Oh, it got me right there. I was able to make 2 whole groups, and I got right to 10, so I don't have any extras that I need to get to my original numerator. If that works, if your numerator can divide perfectly with your denominator, so like in this case my answer is 2, that means you just have a whole number. 10/5 is the same as 2, or 2 wholes. 10/5, same as 2 wholes. If there's no remainder, then your answer is a whole number. All right, last one, 16/4. All right, so we're doing 16/4 to a mixed number. You have to do 16 divided by 4. Try it. 16 divided by 4. How many groups of 4 can I make with 16? 4, 8, 12, 16. I got right there, and I was able to make 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. That means my answer, 16/4, is the same as 4. And I was right. 16/4. In conclusion,